Distribution provided by Cloud Sigma, the cloud that adapts to you. Visit cloudsigma.com/thisweekin for a free $200 credit.
Not hungry. Hey, everybody. Welcome to This Week in Startups, our Startup of the Week, brought to you by SendGrid. Today, we've got a great culinary startup here from Los Angeles, Pop-Up Pantry. I'm a big fan of it, and it's going to be an awesome episode. Stick with us. And honest you are, the better. I was just giving my instructions. This is what so people want to know how. Some people say, Jason, you are such a great interviewer. Jason, how do you get all this amazing information out of people? And it's very simple. We select great guests, and then you just push a button. I mean, if you're a great entrepreneur, it's so simple. You just literally have to not screw it up. So my job as an interviewer is to not screw it up and to make the guest feel comfortable in a trusted, safe environment, and then to ask them very simple questions in the beginning, and then right as we're wrapping up, ask them the most difficult questions in a really nice way, and then try to sucker them into answering it as honestly as possible. That is the technique, actually. No, it's not. But it is, I always tell the people who are on the program, please, if you can, and where you can, be honest, be authentic, be real, be who you are, and talk about the real issues you're facing. Because the audience here, the 100,000 people who download every episode of this show and have done so for 290-odd episodes, they really want the honesty. They want you to bring the authenticity. They want to talk about the struggle of entrepreneurship to make great new products. And today we have a great entrepreneur doing a really cool product that when I first heard it, I just said to myself, that's brilliant. That's a brilliant idea. It's risky. It may or may not work, but I applaud the creativity in it, and it's kind of a ballsy idea. It's called Pop-Up Pantry. We're going to hear about it in just a second. It's just a second. It's a food subscription service, and it's pretty cool. But before we do that, I have to say thank you so much to SendGrid. SendGrid, my friends over there, do transactional emails. And you wonder, hey, what is transactional email? It's very simple. When you sign up for your startup and somebody signs up for your service, you send them an email to confirm you're a real person, not some bot or something. And they have to get that email in order to click on the authentication link. What if they don't get it? Then you've lost the customer that you just paid to acquire, either through public relations or SEM or SEO, whatever it is. You can't afford to lose that person just because the email got stuck in their, hyperactive, uber-sensitive spam filters. And transactional email is critical. When somebody friends somebody in your system, when somebody follows somebody, when you send them a marketing message, all those emails that just collect, but they are really... It's really like the neurosystem. It's the what do you call that? What do you call that system in your body? With the nerves. It's like the nervous system, that one. Yeah, it's like the nervous system of the internet and of your startup. If you don't get those little messages out, you're not going to get the reaction you need from your audience. Use SendGrid and get 200 emails a day sent for free. So you can just start playing with it and learn how to use it. Registration, passwords, resets, all that kind of stuff. And you could do it yourself. You could put 4 or 5 developers on this problem and then get your ass kicked by a competitor who uses SendGrid, like Foursquare, Pinterest, StumbleUpon, and Pandora. Those are huge companies with tons of resources. They have unlimited amounts of capital. Trust me, those companies are flush. And if they could easily afford to do this themselves, they don't, because they want to have the expertise of SendGrid. They want to have the flawlessness. They want to have the perfection that SendGrid brings to transactional emails. And so go ahead and try their API. It's just custom integration. It's super easy to use. Everybody's using it. Go around and ask 10 startups, and I bet you the majority of them are using SendGrid for their transactional emails. They're that good. And hey, it's a startup, SendGrid. They're a startup, and they came out of Boulder, and they were a Techstars company, perhaps the most successful of the Techstar companies, I think, from what I understand. And just great team over there, and I really appreciate them supporting this special episode that we do every week, which is called the Startup of the Week. And the Startup of the Week is about companies that maybe they're not 10 years old or 5 years old. Maybe they haven't IPO'd. Maybe they're not raised $100 million in 3 rounds and they're blown out, or they're a VC who's got a 10-year career, and we can talk for an hour about it. This is like new ideas, things that you see bubbling up on AngelList or maybe coming out of Launchpad, as this company did. Mark Suster from This Week in Venture Capital's incubator, I believe. And anyway, we couldn't do the show without them. Thank you so much. And it's just a privilege and an honor to have SendGrid as a sponsor for this episode. Hey, so my guest, David, and it's Hauslaib, right? Is that how you pronounce it?
Hauslaib, yeah.
Hauslaib. You have a startup. It's called Pop-Up Pantry. I believe you came out of Mark Suster's Launchpad, and that was probably 3 or 4 months ago.
Yeah, the class wrapped up at the beginning of the summer.
So tell me, what is the idea?
Pop-Up Pantry, we're the subscription club for food lovers. So we're delivering 3-course gourmet dinners to our customers' door for about the price of takeout. And each dinner is crafted by a top chef. So this is restaurant quality food. This isn't something you're going to find in your grocer's freezer and inevitably end up disappointed.
Got it. And so looking at the website here, I see some grilled Cuban spice chicken by Chef David Yeo. Yeo, is it pronounced?
David Yeo, he's our head of culinary. He's got 25 years of experience, and he's running our kitchen. He's trained under Alain Ducasse and Joel Robuchon. He was at Le Cirque. We're not kidding around here when we're talking about our chef talent.
Yeah, and roast duck leg here with cherry sauce by Frank Fronda.
It's amazing.
Great looking stuff. And how does it actually come to you? I mean, obviously, you look at this stuff and you say, wow, this looks like, this is fine dining. I mean, no two bits about it. This is sous vide, high-end ingredients done incredibly well. But how do I make it look like that in my house? How does it come? What's the technology behind this, if you will?
We like to say if you can boil water or bake a frozen pizza, you can plate Pop-Up Pantry, and it'll look like it does on the website. Not only do we offer plating suggestions, but the process is super simple for the customer. As you mentioned, the food is prepared in our kitchen, much of it using the sous vide process, which has really been popularized by Thomas Keller up north.
Explain what sous vide is. People don't know.
Yeah, sous vide is basically the process where you're taking, let's say we're doing one of our short ribs. You're able to batch cook a large quantity of these items in basically a water bath. And so using an immersion circulator, which is a piece of equipment, you can regulate the temperature for multiple pieces of protein at the same time.
And here it is. I put it up on the screen here. That's an immersion cooker there in a plastic bucket.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of the top restaurants are doing. They have buckets like that. They're not putting your food in the oven anymore.
Almost guaranteed everybody watching this show right now has enjoyed sous vide technology at a restaurant, whether they know it or not.
So they put into that bath a piece of salmon, but they don't just throw it in the bath. They put it in a plastic bag that's sealed, airtight.
It's in a vacuum sealed bag. Yeah. And what's so terrific is we're first and foremost, we want our customers to enjoy the food, but we're also super focused on food safety. So because it's in that vacuum sealed bag and it doesn't leave that bag, we're able to kill any pathogens that may be exposed to it. And that bag is what the customer receives on her end. So she is then taking that bag of protein. It could be our duck leg, it could be our smothered pork chop, throwing it in a pot of boiling water, setting a timer for 25 minutes, opening up a bottle of wine, coming back and plating the dish.
And it's perfect.
It's perfect every time. There's no way to screw this up.
They've basically, sous vide not only makes the meat more tender and unique, it also makes it perfect because these machines, I have a sous vide supreme, like the sort of entry-level machine, $500. You set the temperature to exactly how many degrees you want it and for what period of time. And so that's been a revolution in cooking.
It truly has, and we're not necessarily reinventing the wheel here. We're taking the best parts of the restaurant industry, ignoring the worst parts, and taking that experience and putting it in your home. So our promise to customers is we'll get it from your kitchen to dining room table in 30 minutes or less. We've done all the hard work in our kitchen.
Now, what does this cost me to have this nice appetizer and a beautiful duck confit and some dessert? What does that cost me per person? So it's 3 meals, right?
It's each dinner serves 2 people.
Okay.
And each dinner is 3 courses. So our price point really is we want to beat takeout. We're looking at about $40 for a dinner that serves 2. At the higher end, the more dinners you subscribe to every month, the better the pricing is going to be. But you wouldn't know it here in LA or a city like New York or San Francisco. But for about the price of an appetizer at a high-end restaurant, we're giving you a 3-course dinner for 2.
Which is $17 per person.
Yes.
And that's probably, if you have a duck confit at any restaurant, that's going to be $35 dish,
plus
$40
tax,
dish.
tip, parking, valet.
Everything, yeah. And so, but I guess the counter argument, and I'm sure this came up when you told people the idea, I'm sure the first thing VCs would say, I don't know, this is what I assume, VCs are kind of dopey. But aren't people paying to go to the restaurant and they want that experience? So you're basically losing that part of it, the waiter, the romance of going to a beautiful 4 or 5 star restaurant.
Well, we're seeing a couple interesting trends. The first is, post 2008, the number of Americans who are dining out every year decreases. But the number of Americans who rate their favorability in their dining experience continue to rate at-home dining even higher.
Huh.
So we're never going to replace the opportunity to dine out, but for those evenings at home, or you're throwing a dinner party, or it's mom's birthday and
Right.
you want to get the family around the dining room table, we're the perfect option while taking the stress out of that process. And what a lot of our customers are telling us is, we've had one customer, I'm never going to claim Pop-Up Pantry saves marriages, but we've had some amazing customer feedback where a husband emailed in and said for the first time he had a reason to sit down at the dining room table with his wife in years. And they had a wonderful conversation.
Yeah.
And on the other end, we have folks who are, again, hosting dinner parties where all of a sudden they've got an hour and a half, 2 hours. Instead of spending in the kitchen, they actually get to have some wine with their guests and enjoy the evening.
And it's a better meal than they would probably be able to cook themselves.
100%.
So show me, how does it come? When I get the box here, what is it?
So I want to make,
put it right here on the table. Yeah, they'll see it. They got the two there. So you get this big, huge box.
So this is the box that arrives
Look at that thing.
at your doorstep, and we're already getting customers sending in photos of it arriving at their door and anticipating it.
You got a little Steve Jobs in you there. You care about the packaging, don't you?
We're a very brand conscious company, yes.
Beautiful packaging.
Thank you. And because this is really, if we get our customers to buy food from us over the internet, great.
Yeah.
We want them to feel like they're part of a branded subscription club experience.
Got it.
So it comes like this. It comes with our patented insulation.
Ah, yes, look at that.
And
literally patented, or you're just being...
No, it is.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. And wow, it's so the whole thing, you can see it here. If you look in there, you see the whole box is one giant insulation sleeve.
Because it arrives at our customer's doorstep still frozen. We ship it with dry ice.
Got it.
For you today, I avoided the dry ice.
Okay, no problem.
But some...
And so then I get a bunch of bags with the cooked stuff in it. Let me take a look at that here.
Sure.
So that's dessert, clearly.
This is our Portobello Wellington.
Oh, wow. Now, listen, I've made a beef Wellington. That's not an easy thing to make.
Well, we've done a beef Wellington.
Portobello, which is hard.
It's unbelievably delicious. And so really all the customer is doing is taking that bag, following our super simple, dummy-proof prep instructions.
Right, which is...
and each
instructions?
The instructions all come for every dinner that our customers order. They receive a sheet like this.
Oh, wow, look at that.
So there's a little bit of information about the chef.
See that,
Easy to follow, 5 or 6 steps.
Preheat the oven, fill a large pot halfway with water, place a short rib and congee pouches into a boil for 35 minutes. Place asparagus in a pouch, 35 minutes, done. Boom.
Boom. And some plating tips
and here
as
you
well.
just have like a little check boxes, so I can just check that I have all the stuff I was supposed to get.
That's correct.
So that just takes out the sort of intimidation of,
Yeah.
oh my God, I have to make it look like that. It's just super simple. What about the actual plating? Have people said, I want to get the plate with that so I can have that experience? Is that something you're thinking about?
So if you take a look at the bottom of that sheet, it'll have plating tips for you to really how to prepare them.
Bowls, But what about, you do plate it on a beautiful dish here. Have you considered including the dish, or is that something that's on the roadmap maybe?
We've got a lot of opportunities in front of us, and some of that includes selling the flatware. And then, of course, you get a handwritten note from Tom, my co-founder, and myself thanking you for your order.
Eat well. That's great.
And
little menu cards.
Every dinner comes with 2 menu cards, and the goal here is really to create that restaurant experience in the home. So we're finding our customers are indeed placing these next to their dinner plate.
Yeah, and then here we have the dessert, I guess.
That is one of our desserts.
Almond panna cotta.
Yeah,
beautiful
that's
looking.
phenomenal as well.
And this is in, what is this, like rubber?
So those are little baking trays, and those will be finished in the oven.
And then you toss the baking tray?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, not reusable. And so, how is it going so far? I mean, I know you did this incredible partnership with MasterChef, the Gordon Ramsay program, with Tom.
We've got Joe Bastianich and Graham Elliott.
And Ryan Bell, yeah. So, Joe is the big, he's got a lot of restaurants, huh?
Yes, Joe's brand is sort of a wine aficionado. Gordon obviously speaks for himself, but he sort of balances what you see on Hell's Kitchen with some a nicer personality on MasterChef. And really, this was an unprecedented partnership. We continued to hear from our customers, and Tom and I knew this going into creating the business, that there's within the last 5 years, really, there's been an education about food in this country that that has really blown up. And so the only problem is, unlike, let's say, fashion reality shows, where you can go to stores and buy the dresses, or auto reality shows, you can go to a shop and buy the car. Even home reality shows, everybody's got houses in the neighborhood they can go check out. Food. Reality food television is the one place where you cannot get the product that you see on TV. And so we're really the first ones to be able to do that.
And how do you get this incredible MasterChef partnership? Is that with Fox? Is it with the producers of MasterChef? And is it promoted on air? How does that work?
The partnership is with Shine America, the production company, which is now a unit of Fox. And it happened through Launchpad. And, and we can talk a little bit about Launchpad.
Yeah, so tell me about that. How did you wind up at Launchpad? Explain what Launchpad is.
Launchpad is a startup accelerator here in Southern California. I believe it to be the most preeminent one. I'm a little bit biased.
In Southern California? Yeah, I would say it's probably the preeminent one, yeah. Either that or tied, yeah.
And Tom Balamasi, my co-founder, and I, we freely admit that we were one of the last companies to get into this class. We squeaked on by. And when we approached Launchpad and Sam Teller and GRP's Mark Suster, there's a fear when it comes to food. Everyone looks at the food business and they see grocery and restaurant. They don't like the margins. These are a community of investors who like software and SaaS, where the margins are much more significant.
So how did you get them over that? When they said to you, like, food, like the margin's going to be 2%, this doesn't make any sense.
We fed them. We fed them our food.
Gotcha.
And then our phone started ringing, and they said, "Welcome to Launchpad."
Wow.
And
so
I know
you literally just sent them a box, or did you cook it and bring it to them and said, "Taste"?
We cooked it and brought it to GRP. We fed the office, and the feedback was immediate. We got a call, I think, on a Friday that we were welcome to move in on Monday.
Wow. Yeah. Did they invite you to the tasting? You said, "Hey, that was your idea. Like, let us just cook for you, and then tell us no."
Well, we let them know they were going to come by with some food, but we're very fortunate in that we have a product that not only is delicious, but it goes a long way in the sales process and convincing people that this isn't just an idea in the sky. It's not just a PowerPoint presentation. We're making a physical product. We do it ourselves, and it's amazing.
And it seems like there's, correct me if I'm wrong, other subscription clubs and other commerce opportunities that they're probably seeing even around town. Sean Percival's Whittleby. I mean, a bunch of different things where people say, wow, subscription commerce might actually work. Shoe Dazzle, other places. And Fab obviously is doing amazing. So do those kind of other startups become something you point out and say, listen, it is working in these other places?
I look at subscription commerce, and I'm not the first with this idea, but I think the way for a subscription commerce company to work, it either has to hit one of two things. You either have to have a super niche audience that's willing to pay a premium for a product. There's a subcom company for pocket squares, for instance. I don't think it's scalable necessarily, but it's a super dedicated audience that'll pay a lot for it.
Wait, for what? Pocket
squares.
What's a pocket? You mean like
pocket square for your suit jacket?
And it's a subscription model?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
So, or you have something that is a necessity in somebody's life. So I think you look at Dollar Shave. People have to shave. They've got to keep shaving or we're screwed. And food. We've got to eat. So we're not necessarily offering something to our customers where they have to decide, well, maybe I can use this month, maybe I can't. This is an offering that they're going to eat, whether we're the ones feeding them or not.
Okay, so I'm a foodie. I look at this idea. We did buy it here for the office, and Kieran's trying it out for the launch ticker, so everybody can look at launchticker.com. She's going to do it this weekend. I'm fascinated by the idea. I'm a foodie, and I do follow certain chefs, and I do like certain food, and I'm an investor in New York Mouth, which provides artisanal sort of food, and so I sort of believe in this. Is it a little risky to go for the high end as opposed to the value? I think when I first saw it, and my first feedback to you was, well, what about the family of 5 who is looking to get value and convenience? It seems like you went for convenience and the culinary experience. But if I'm the family of 5 and you say $17 a person, and you say, well, now I'm at $75, this is getting a little expensive here, to have $100. But even $100 for 5 people is not for restaurant quality food, but still they're putting it up against ordering a pizza, ordering a couple of hoagies, or making pasta, or something terrible like that. Why not go for $7 or $10 a person, $50, meal for $50, blow it out, big, American style food? Was that a discussion as a startup?
Yeah, I mean, pricing with any startup is a big part of our decision making. Pop-Up Pantry is a brand that we describe as aspirational but attainable. This is food that you sort of think, I would love to have that, but it's not so complex, it's not so out of reach that any American, we hope, can enjoy it. We look at, if you want to sort of get down to that price point, and we have explored it, you're looking at lesser quality food. We want to deliver restaurant quality as inexpensively as possible. And we've explored and we've really refined our ability to do that with the places that we source our ingredients from.
Right.
But we're doing a lot of work in our kitchen as well. And then we're hearing from our customers. Certainly, there are ones who wish the price points were lower.
Yeah.
We've done some A/B price testing, and we're actually finding that for the folks who we think is our target demographic, there's quite a bit of willingness to actually pay even more than we're charging at this
so
point.
people might want lobster and filet mignon as opposed to just duck and short ribs, which, although they can be prepared in a high-end way, you have controlled some price on the ingredient selection, I see.
And we also feel, if you want a Subway Hero or something through a drive-through window, no matter where you live in this country, you can get that.
Right.
Our customer is one who generally plans a little bit more, puts a little bit more thought into what they're going to have for dinner. So they're the ones who, in a major city, might be making the restaurant reservations for the weekend a week ahead of time, but not necessarily. And we sort of see our customers falling into two groups. Folks like you and me who live in a major city, we can step out the door and sit down at 15,000 amazing restaurants with well-known celebrity chefs.
Well, maybe 200 that are amazing and 14,700 that are regrettable. But
Fair
anyway,
enough.
keep going. Passable.
And then folks who have seen with this explosion of food media, whether it's on Pinterest or Instagram, whether it's on Fox or Bravo, whether they're the ones who are turning food magazines into the only category that's seeing subscribers increase while everybody else is on the decline. These are folks who are, for the first time, have this vocabulary knowledge about food, but zero access to it.
You're not going to get, the confit or the Wellington necessarily in
You're
Idaho.
getting an onion blossom at a chain restaurant, and Macaroni Grill or Outback constitutes dining out.
Yes.
And not to knock
Olive
them.
Garden, kill yourself. No, you can knock them. It's terrible.
No,
It's garbage.
I will go to Outback. But at the same time,
come on, it's garbage.
most evenings, I would much rather have Pop-Up Pantry.
And the truth is, doing the math, and this is the logic I have to get past, is I sign those bills for when you order, once a week or twice a week, and it's just $75, $100 when you're getting takeout, $80. And then you start thinking about the math. If I had just had the, discipline to have ordered Pop-Up Pantry, I would have saved half as much, and I would have had something healthier and better.
I don't think I've ever ordered sushi in Los Angeles without paying $50 or $60. I don't know where it is. It's for two people. I have no idea where the money goes.
Right.
But at the same time, that's why we love this subscription model right now, because it really is set it and forget it. You get an email at the first of every month saying, here are our new menus for the month. Right. With a couple of clicks, we're sending them to your doorstep.
I'm going to sign up. And what do I have to do? I can order 3 meals or 4 meals?
So if you want to try it out, you can. New customers could order as few as 1 dinner.
Oh, okay.
Serves 2. Try it out. We have customers. We had one woman the other day. She's on our 20 dinner a month plan.
Right.
We've got some
20 dinner a month plan.
Yeah.
Wow. Is that 20 pairs of dinners or 10 times 2?
20 times 2.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So she's basically 2 out of 3 meals is Pop-Up Pantry.
And we love her for it.
And is she in like Antarctica or something?
You know what? I have to check where she is. But
she must be somewhere where she's off the grid.
Yeah. What's really interesting, and my favorite part of this, we get an email with every new order, and it lets us know the customer's name and the address. And those are my favorite emails. My phone in my bag is probably blowing up right now with emails subject line new order. And I love seeing the cities and towns where we're getting orders from, particularly the ones that I've never heard of. We have had, I think, 4 orders from Mars, Pennsylvania, some from in towns in Mississippi and Missouri that I've, again, couldn't find on a map. We've got plenty from Brooklyn and Los Angeles and outside of San Francisco and Chicago. Right. But I'm thrilled that we're reaching an audience that we set out to find and fulfill a purpose that we set out to do.
Now, when you order 3 or 4, let's say I order 3 meals times 2, I got 6, individual meals. Will it come in that same size box? Can you fit them all in there? Or am I going to get all these huge boxes? Because I'm a little worried about the environmental impact.
Sure, and we're super conscious of that as well. Yeah. Right now, we're packaging 2 dinners at a time, but in the weeks ahead, we've got packaging that can accommodate more.
Right.
And listen, the environmental reason is perfectly understandable.
Yeah.
But there's a fiscal reason too. We save in shipping by shipping fewer packages.
Yeah, and the truth is the trucks are already out there. So the trucks are already coming to everybody's houses with the UPS, and FedEx delivery. So what does it cost? $10 to ship something like that? $8? What's the cost on that?
It depends. We're enjoying some volume discounts right now, but shipping and packaging is as well.
What's the range? What would the range be for like a startup that wanted to do a business like this if you're doing volume?
You're probably starting, if you're just starting out shipping, you're getting off the basically walk-in rates from FedEx.
Which would be what, like $10 overnight, $20?
Probably to ship a box like this anywhere from overnight.
You've got to go
anywhere
overnight?
from $60 to $90.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah. Which is why, again, we see a million of these delivery companies that can only operate in major cities. Why? Because they hire drivers that drive around town and drop them off at 3 o'clock in the morning. I've subscribed to no fewer than a dozen of these. Yeah. But as soon as you get 20 minutes outside a major city, these services don't deliver food. So we solve that last mile problem by working with FedEx and UPS.
And they give you some preferred rate.
That's correct.
So you can get it down to what, like $10 maybe, or?
Yeah, in that range.
Yeah.
We're still right now, as we're setting up our distribution facilities, we're doing air, shipping it air to the East Coast.
Could it go 2 days since it's got dry ice in it, or does it have to be done in 1 day?
We do 2-day ground,
Right.
and then if we can't get it ground, we ship air.
Now, I guess there's this fear of like my food is in transit. What if it gets warm? How do you protect against that? Is there some?
I know more about weather patterns than I ever cared to about 12
But I mean,
months
like if
ago.
I open it up and it's like not cold inside, what do I do? I just get a refund?
Oh, absolutely. We'll send you another box. Then we failed and we didn't do our job.
Right. Well, I mean, it could be UPS just lost the package, or it was on the tarmac and.
Well, then they take care of their errors, and they've been very good about that.
Oh, really? Yeah. So if they screw up, they'll do a make good.
That's correct.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
And so what's the challenge for the business now? You have to figure out a way, lifetime customer value or conversion funnel. What do you think?
So we opened to the public in July. We went national in August. So it's only been a little over a month that we've been serving 48 states. Yeah. And so we don't yet know our lifetime value. We have to figure out how long are people staying with us? When are they leaving? How long are they going to order more dinners? Can we get them to subscribe to more dinners the longer they're with us? So we're figuring out those metrics now.
Yeah. And hundreds of orders, thousands of orders, how do you manage that?
Yeah. Right now, I would say scaling is our biggest problem. It's not unique to us, but we are a little bit different from other tech-oriented companies because we have a physical product. We have a kitchen. We ship a physical good. There are a lot of things that can go wrong with that, and
it's not like you have one SKU. It's not like your Fitbit. Like here's the Fitbit. We've got 10 million of them in a warehouse. Go. I mean, you've got how many different SKUs do you have here? How many different types of food?
Probably a few hundred. If you get down to the ingredient level, we've got.
But what
hundreds.
about the meals? How many different meals do you offer now? Dozens?
Yeah, we introduce at least a half dozen new dinners every month.
Wow.
And then we keep the customer favorites and bestsellers.
Got it. So people can really lock in and say, I just love that.
Yeah. And we're really focused, again, we're never going to chase food trends or dietary trends, let's say, but we have a lot of customers who are vegetarian and vegan. They may have gluten allergies. And so we are definitely producing menus.
And those are people who really, if they need gluten-free and they're a vegetarian, boy, they're screwed. They have a very narrow, range of products.
And imagine if you don't live in a major city, then you're really
doubly screwed.
Yeah.
And if you happen to like, well done food, you're triply screwed.
That's correct.
If you walk into Gordon Ramsay's or any number of places and you say I'm gluten-free and I'm this, some places may laugh at you and think, yeah, well, you're in the wrong place. That seems like a huge opportunity for you to be able to really over-service those demographics and underserviced demographics, no?
Folks with dietary restrictions are among the most vocal customers, and they're the ones writing into us and ringing our phone most of the time, which is, I'm allergic to this, I only eat, let's say I'm pescatarian. So we knew this walking in, that we would see I come from a place where I eat anything, so I don't have a dietary restriction. But we certainly know that these customers, when they find something that works for them, they're going to be the most loyal. So we're super conscious of keeping them as customers and continuing to fill their appetite.
And what's the funding state of the company? You raised an angel round?
Yeah, we did.
Venture round? Where you at?
We did a seed round that closed a couple months ago.
Congrats.
And thank you.
Yeah.
We started, Tom and I bootstrapped. This is my second company I created. I had an exit last year. And Tom digged into his pockets on his end. And we joined Launchpad, which comes with a little bit of money, as everyone knows.
Yeah, like 50 grand or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so we were able to use that to launch an alpha in April. And so for about 3 weeks, we shipped food nationwide, much as we're doing now. Some people we knew, some were complete strangers. And that was really to get the metrics. Can we do this? What are people willing to pay? What are the costs?
So you just sent people, like you bought traffic on Facebook and send them to a landing page to see if they'd pay?
Well, we basically used our existing list of investors, advisors, friends, family, and then said, hey, go invite 5 people that we don't know.
Got it. Well, that's a good trick, yeah.
Yeah, and so we thought we were going to have to do that for a couple months to show basically the re-up rate. Were folks continuing to subscribe with us from one month to another? Right. And we had some inbound from investors, I think after about 2 weeks of doing that. And so I think we wrapped it up maybe after 3.5 weeks. And moved ahead and closed our round.
Do you think you need to have a second brand? Like if Pop-Up Pantry is for the foodies, but it turns out the paleo people, become such a huge trend, or the vegans become the food, and they just like, I know my wife is vegan. If she comes to the site and she sees, a bunch of pork and other stuff, she's going to be like, oh, I don't want to be, just immediately going to turn off to that. And maybe she's not. She's kind of open-minded, but many of them would be like, I can't go to that site. It's not for me. Have you thought about making a vegan version of this and just leaning into that? And
well, what's terrific about the way we approach our customer intake is basically we ask them about their culinary preferences. Are they adventurous eaters? Do they like spicy foods?
Yeah, here's
Are
the
they
Q&A
vegan or
right
vegetarian?
here. Yeah.
And so we get that data. So if you indicate that you're vegan, moving forward, you won't see ribs and chicken or fish. You'll see a lot of more vegetable-oriented dishes. So we're able to basically create a personalized experience for them based on the way that they share.
Yeah, here's the questions here. Profiles. Which restaurant would you do anything to get a table tonight? Urban Belly in Chicago, I've never been. House of Burgers in Los Angeles, no. But I would go to Bobo, sure, definitely. What's your friend invites you to potluck you're most likely to bring? Pigs in a blanket, no. Bruschetta, no. Dim sum selection, I would bring the dim sum selection, I think. I would go, I like all these spices. But I would say wasabi I probably have most often. Ingredients, spicy meat, oh, that's interesting. I've had squash bottoms, have that. Peppercorns, I've had that. I've had cuttlefish many times. Which ingredient? I would say today, the bison meat.
Okay.
I would say bison meat because I have the sous vide machine. I'm kind of into that. Which staple can't you live without? Wow, that's a tough one there because I love my butter and I love my olive oil. And I love all this stuff, but I got to go olive oil. That's just too hard to live without. If you could have a chef for beer, oh, that's good. Well, I've eaten with Morimoto before. And I like Giada. I'm going to go with Morimoto.
Yeah, that was my pick.
Yeah, that's your pick?
Yep.
Quick ideal snack would be, and you're just trying to, I would go for the brie. Oh, I love brie. Which of these are most appealing? Spicy chicken, mac and cheese, lasagna, beef stir fry. None of these are like really like what I would go for. I say these are all comfort kind of foods, but I'm going to go with the spicy chicken maybe. I'm kind of off the carb thing. Likely to prepare. This is an interesting one too. I know what you're trying to get at with this one is. I would go with stir fry. Yeah. Crane fry. Yeah. I like all this stuff, but I'm gonna go with the sushi bar. I'm a little more high on. Boom. And now you know something about me through those questions.
Yeah. And so then we deliver to you your taste profile.
Modern Asian, which is true. I'm big on that.
And again, it's going to get more complex. We're constantly refining the quiz and the questions that we ask. But we want to get an idea, again, of what kind of cuisine that you enjoy. And then our chefs can recommend dishes to you based on how you answer our taste profile quiz.
I think that this business, I think you're off to a good start. And I think you're going to learn something. I think you're going to learn something like in the first 6 months that's going to make this break out. I don't know what it is, but I don't think any of us can predict it. I think something's going to hit, like this paleo diet or the vegan thing, or maybe like the shows, the way you're doing it, or maybe it's family dining, something. But I really respect that you got in the game with such a really hard, nut to crack. I mean, this is not an easy one. You pick something challenging.
And I think you're correct. I think we're already learning so much from our customers. What I absolutely love about this business is we get immediate feedback, not just on what people are clicking on and buying, but folks are not quiet about whether they enjoyed something or something was a little bland. And
you get every one of those emails, I'm sure.
Every single one, I read every single one.
And you reply to everyone?
Yeah, everyone gets an answer. Absolutely.
Yeah. Do you try to reply to everyone?
As many as I can. Yeah. But we have a dedicated customer service team. Our team of Escoffiers who answer every email and phone call.
And you got MPH as an investor, Neil Patrick Harris. That's kind of cool. How'd you get that set up?
He's a friend of mine. And a total foodie. He actually had to create a separate Twitter account, NPH Food Porn, because his 4 million followers on actually NPH were growing tired of seeing all the food.
No, I mean he went to French Laundry or somewhere and he tweeted literally like 15 or 16 dishes in a row. I follow him and he's a total foodie.
Whether he's in Paris or here in LA, he's always tweeting his food. So we basically went over to his house, and his partner is David Burka.
Yeah, sure.
David is a trained chef. He was under Mario Batali.
Oh, I didn't know he worked for Mario Batali.
Yeah, he's on E! News now, but he has a food company. He's going to be doing a line of menus for us.
Oh, great.
So just like we were able to grab our institutional investors by feeding them, we grabbed Neil and David by letting them try. I think we brought over 10 different courses. But
that's a great way to do it. And does a celebrity like that, how does that impact a startup? Would you recommend that people try to do that for their startup? We saw Kim Kardashian with Shoe Dazzled. What does it do? Does it just create an aura around the company? Do you think that person winds up doing some press for you or just mentioning it at times? Or
I think, we're in a very fortunate situation being in LA. There's a lot of talent out there, and I think these folks and their handlers are getting much smarter about how they can get involved in this community. I think it makes sense for some and not for others. Yeah. It makes sense for us. We love high-profile people who love good food. We would never say, no, please don't mention us.
Right.
But at the same time, we're a very brand-conscious company. There's a certain type of food and food community that we're trying to build. So as we identify chef partners, and we get a lot of inbound from chefs and their agents now who want to partner with us, and some are a better fit than others. Right. And what we're finding is actually, obviously we want to partner with somebody who can do what? Drive sales, activate their fans and followers who will buy on Pop-Up Pantry.
Right.
And what we're finding is rather than go after somebody super high-end who's internationally renowned, who has 8 restaurants all over the world. Yeah. We really want to focus on folks who maybe are a little bit smaller, but have a super dedicated audience.
So Momofuku, or maybe instead of Gordon Ramsay. Or
and again, we would never
turn down Ramsay, but
correct.
You can't turn down Ramsay.
Correct. He and the MasterChef. I
didn't say it.
He and the MasterChef brand have been phenomenal.
He's
for
awesome.
Our company.
I've been to, how many Gordon Ramsays have I been to? And, everybody's like, oh, Gordon Ramsay's overrated. It's not overrated. I mean, I've been to his places in New York, here, London, and Japan.
I hang out at the London West Hollywood at least once a week.
Yeah, fantastic food. Yeah. And his fine dining in New York was very good. I think I shut it down. And then in Tokyo, I had one of the best lunches of my life. Just absolutely phenomenal. I mean, the guy's, really, the consistency is pretty amazing.
Super talented and really involved.
Yeah, he does seem to actually have the knowledge. Yeah. Listen, I think you're off to a great start, David, and I wish you a lot of luck. And everybody, please, part of being a fan of the show is also being a fan of startups, and here's a startup where you can participate. So why don't you go and you subscribe for a month? You try it. If you like it, you keep subscribing, and if you don't like it, you send David some information on why you didn't like it, and he can iterate on the product. But be supportive. You want to see new things in the world, give the guy some support. Go to popuppantry.com, and don't be a cheap ass and order a couple of meals.
Email me personally, David@popuppantry.com.
There you go.
I'd love to hear
Where's your kitchen?
We have a kitchen in Marina Del Rey, but
perfect.
We are expanding.
You're going to need to be like on the runway in Memphis. Is that where FedEx is, on the runway?
They've got a few spots there in Louisville. Louisville,
that's the one I'm thinking of. So you have to think about actually being like your kitchen on the runway in Louisville. You're going to be spending time in Louisville.
Yes, we get orders from Louisville. I love Louisville.
Just stay on the main roads, okay? Those places in the South make me very nervous. Just be careful.
There's room for Pop-Up Pantry all over the place.
No, but I hear from a lot of people that this is like the move if you're doing one of these startups is on these runways, like right off the runway or very close to the runway, they sell office space, like warehouse space, and you can basically like almost drive on the tarmac, essentially, like different printing companies.
Yeah, and I mean the fewer steps to get it on that plane and those trucks, the better.
Yeah, you take out a leg take out a whole leg, so everybody try that. And David at popuppantry.com, of course, you can always guess that as an entrepreneur. If you don't know, I mean, this is where hustle comes in. You got to try to guess the CEO or the founder's email or the VC's email and write them a short, quick email, and get the ball rolling. And you're hiring too, I take it.
Yeah, we're always hiring. We're always hiring. We're always fundraising.
There you go.
Those are the two lessons of running
It is pretty true. People are like, "Are you going to the Valley to play poker or to raise money?" And I'm like, "Yes,
both."
Because if I win at poker, that's raising money technically, and you're always raising money as an entrepreneur. You never know when you're gonna, next opportunity comes.
My first company didn't raise a penny. Ran it for 7 years very successfully. This is my first company that I'm doing where we raise money. Very different experience, but it's wonderful.
How's it different? What's the main difference?
Previously, it was, when I would go out to dinner and my friends would say, "Oh, just expense it." Well, that comes out of my pocket. That's my money. I own 100% of the company. That's my money. Yeah. And now it's, and all of the responsibility fell to me. I was lead decision maker. Yeah. And now not only do I have a co-founder, I have a board and investors that I'm responsible to in a number of ways.
And they're responsible to their investors, their limited partners. So it's like a whole responsibility chain that becomes much greater, huh?
And I think it's great for this type of company.
You find you're more disciplined? Do you find you're more bringing your A game, or do you find you're spending more time, like managing their expectations than the business?
Right now, we have a terrific group of investors. I'm not even BSing you here. We've got GRP, who led Crosscut.
Crosscut's great too.
And Adam Goldenberg, the CEO of JustFab, who came in personally. Who really understands e-commerce. And we have one goal right now, right, which is to get customers and show the metrics. Yeah. And as we continue to grow, and we're growing at a clip much faster than we expected, we'll be on to step 2 very soon.
Awesome. Everybody check out Pop-Up Pantry. And hey, thanks to my friends at SendGrid. Everybody thank at SendGrid on their Twitter account. And you can follow Pop-Up Pantry on Twitter as well. But hey, thank at SendGrid and try out their great transactional delivery. We couldn't have done this program without their support. And we'll see you all next time on This Week in Startups.